Welcome to the bold analysis. There is a one-sided story that the Kenya Kwanza team are talking about. It is indeed true that 7 people lost their lives during the Wednesday demonstration. But again, it's also true that those who lost their lives were either shot by the police or shot by the police. There is no any other way out of it. It is also true that apart from protesters that lost their lives, there are other police officers that also suffered some injuries. I cannot confirm whether there were deaths on the other side of the police that also suffered some injuries. Today, William Ruto reacted to that while addressing a political rally in Mwingi North. He had gone there to issue some title deeds. And I want you to look at this video. While he was speaking that event, he was speaking about what people are saying. And I can tell you that while addressing that audience, they were quiet, they bothered, and no one was even interacting with the message. You know, for those who've been keen, you realize that when someone is talking, if you want to understand whether people are buying, you see how people are interacting. No one. In fact, people are just staring at him. People are just looking at him, looking shocked, as if, what is this gentleman saying? And I chose the wordings on what he was talking about. He was talking about the fact that Raila and Ruto are causing mayhem in the country. And he responded to the mass action in respect to it being an anarchy, terming it anarchy.
We will not allow the handshake brothers to hold our country ransom and to take our country hostage by causing violence, by causing mayhem and anarchy, and by bringing chaos in our country so that they can stop us from educating our children and from ensuring that we support our farmers to produce food so that we can get rid of the shame of hunger, and so that we can plan for youth employment through the programs we have. They will not succeed. We will tutawakalia ngumu vile mumesema, na ndio wanataka kuharibu dunia yetu. Na mimi nataka niwaambie, you never succeeded in the past, you will never succeed now.
If you analyze that clip, you realize that his voice is fading. The energy is fading. This is not the Ruto you saw in the campaign trail. Someone said even health. The vibrancy is fading. Ruto is tired. People around him can't tell him that he's naked because they have personal interests. They cannot face him and tell him that. While he's talking about anarchy on the fact that how many people have died, but a gentleman is asking a question I want us to get. Who is killing the Kenyans? Who killed the 7 people? And in some TikTok video, someone asked, did Kenyans kill themselves? Did protesters kill themselves? Or were protesters killed by the police?
6 Kenyans lost their lives. I will not allow any other Kenyan to lose their life.
Not allow what? What will you not allow? Are we the one killing ourselves? Ushaona mtu anaenda maandamano anajua yeye mwenyewe. Unasema you will not allow any Kenyan to lose his life. Who is killing us when we are doing our rights? Acha kutuonyesha makasiriko yako bro. Hata sisi tumekasirika, enough is enough na tumechoka. Tumechoka na wewe. Hata unatuonyesha vile umekasirika. Hata sisi tumekasirika kama Wakenya. We will not allow you ufanye tuteseke kwa hii maisha, kwa hii Kenya. We are not going to allow that. Hata sisi tutakubali. Naona, hatutakubali. Kama Zakayo mwenyewe alishuka, who are you? Who are you kama Zakayo ndiye alishuka? Wewe ni nani? Utashuka. We are telling you as Kenyans, you will come down. This life is going to change. na hutatutisha na hutatusumbua na hautatuintimidate. Unasema who is killing us? Are we killing ourselves? Sina vijana wako ndo natua. Please, we are not going to allow you. Haututakuruhusu uendelee kututesa vile unatutesa sahi. Na huyo kenyeji wa Madhira anasema ati aenda shike Raila. We are waiting for that guy. Huyo kenyeji wa Madhira arrest huyo Raila leo. Try and arrest that guy today.
I liked that question. Who killed the protesters? Because I have been seeing a lot of spin around the whole thing. Rigathi Gachagua is even saying that some goons were unleashed, you know, that outlawed group from Laikipia was unleashed. Moses Kuria is saying that Mlolongo was protesting because of the land issue. And there's just a lot going on. If the people are complaining about the Portland land, then they will be protesting in those areas, not around the road. And he left there and also went to Tharaka. Now, in Tharaka, I've picked another clip. Now, you know, Mwingi North, let's try to imagine, Mwingi is Kalonzo Musyoka's stronghold. Then he went to Tharaka, where they mobilized, you know, they had to mobilize some group there, the numbers there so that they could get people to talk to. And when he was talking to them about some projects, people were just staring. Not the same situation where no one was interacting with the message in Mwingi. It is the same thing that also happened in Tharaka. I want you to get this snippet.
Yote mnataka, bado tuko na dams nyingi. Hapa Tharaka tunajua kule Tharaka mnahitaji dam ya Kidhino. Hiyo maji ya Kidhino, dam ya Kidhino iko katika mipango yetu na waziri anajua. Tuko na dam zingine hapa na pale Ura pande ile kuserve the other side of Ura dam. Tutapanga hiyo vile vile ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba mnapata maji hapa Tharaka na Tongo, tuko na dam kidogo ya Tongo hapo ambaye italete maji Chuka. Hiyo dam vile vile nimeambiwa hakuna pesa. So nitaenda kutafuta pesa. Shilingi milioni 500 inatakikana pale, nitaenda nipige hesabu. Si ndio? Na mtanisaidia, si ndio? Tutapiga pamoja. Tupange mambo hiyo ya hiyo dam. Na mambo ya stima tutashirikiana na hawa viongozi. Mambo ya technical training college yenu, iko wapi ile technical training college tulichenga? Tuko na Muraga hapa chini, technical training college. Kwa sababu hiyo college tunataka vijana wengi waende wasome. Katika budget yetu ya mwaka huu tumeongeza pesa ya scholarship ya watoto ya Muraga hapa. Kwa sababu tunataka watoto wenu zaidi wapate nafasi ya kusomea ufundi, teknolojia na taaluma zingine, ndio tuwapange na ajira. Tumekubaliana?
If you pay close attention to those two clips, one was in Mwingi, one was in Tharaka. No one was interacting with what William Ruto is saying. In fact, people seems not to be interested. Have you realized that unlike in the past where the social media managers managing the social media page of the president were updating photos of Kenyans during rallies, they were updating photos of William Ruto when in a rally they would pick the photos and update in the page. But nowadays, William Ruto can attend an event, probably in, you know, some closed door event. But when he decides to go to have impromptu rallies, those photos are not shared. Why? The photos are not shared because he cannot pull the multitude that used to pull during the campaigns. And that will then draw the parallel. When Ruto speaks, people don't pay attention. I have seen this twice. I even saw the same scenario in Molo. And it's total rejection. And there is that which people need to understand. I think those around William Ruto must face him in the face and tell him, the citizens are blaming the state, where the state is blaming the opposition. Whose blame is more dangerous? I want to repeat. In the whole cost of living question, or let me just say, in the context of the cost of living, or rather the issues about the economy, the states, those in government, are blaming William Ruto and are blaming Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, that the two are working behind the scene to make sure they bring down the power. They bring down William Ruto. That is what they're saying on the other end. But the citizens are blaming government for failing to fulfill their pledges. What William Ruto need to understand here is this. When they normally go to rallies outside, they tend to paint a picture that things are not moving because of the opposition. You know now, and I'm telling you, the next ball that will be picked is about the courts, especially when the decision is arrived at. And so, it is very clear that while you want to blame the opposition for the loss of lives, you want to blame Raila Odinga for the cost of living that is still high, because you're saying when he was with Uhuru Kenyatta they never did it, or we were even saying that then when they were with Uhuru Kenyatta they stole the money in the country. The citizens are not buying government's blame. The citizens are blaming government. Let's do a very good example. Even this one does not need a magical science. If you do, I think Azmi have asked for evidence on who killed who. If you just do a very critical audit and find out who killed protesters, you will not need any magic just to find out that those who killed protesters are people in government, are security officers. You know, protesters, if protesters were shot with bullets, if a protester was shot with bullet, now was he shot by a fellow protester, or who is legally allowed to carry a gun or to have the bullets? So the public seems to be understanding clearly that as much as we want to spin and say all manner of things around this issue, the public is understanding that government is to blame. Secondly, Kenyans read a lot of mischief in the promises that William Ruto is making. And that is why I say it with a very clean and, very honestly, that William Samoei Ruto needed to withdraw from the public. He needed to withdraw. Number one, he needs to retreat, because the more he is in public, he is tempted to repeat and keep on postponing. You know, like now the language is, we have set aside, we are waiting to, tomorrow we will, by next year we shall, by next month I will. You know, it is just, everything is being postponed. Everything is being given a timeline. In fact, what William Ruto has been doing in his speeches is to give timelines to programs, but not starting any. There have been a lot of timelines and a lot of targets being set that we are planning that by next year all government services will be digitized. You know, it's just around planning. And the public seems to be getting bored and they're reading mischief. You know, if you withdraw, people can tend to think that maybe he's working. You withdraw for some time, and Uhuru used to hibernate, so that when you come back fresh, and people can pay attention because he seems to be bringing something new. But in his speech, there is nothing new. It is just the two rhetorics about Raila and Uhuru, waliba pesa, and they are destabilizing the government. And the second one is what I am planning to do and what I've been thinking of doing and who is going to help me do it. But the thing to be done has never been done. So that is why the public is losing interest. In a simple word, they're detached. Lastly, demonstrations have been demonized as a plan to topple government. That has come from the lips of UDA leaders. However, if you're telling people about your demonizing demonstration before Kenyans, the fellows there, but they seem not to be bothered. they're not seeing it as a worry, then what does it show you? It simply tells you that demonstration is a tool of political aggression. And the acceptance level of it is not what people really think. Is demonstrations going to topple government, or it is an avenue of aggression? Truth be told, demonstrations are not going to topple William Ruto, but it is a tool of aggression against policies. So I have seen people saying we cannot budge, but with the prevailing situations, you can always listen. But Kenyans seems to have taken it clearly that that is the language that the power can understand. Thank you.